Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rana Mandanti from PBIB, NIM 2220205062. North American Indians. The first people to live in North America were the American Indians or Native Americans, according to the religious and folk stories of many Indian groups. Their earliest ancestors arrived in North America from the inside of the earth. Modern scientists, however, believe that the first Native Americans came from Asia 1500 to 1800 years ago across the Bering Strait from Siberia to Alaska. They were nomads, that is, they did not live in one place but instead were always on the move as they looked for food. In other words, the first American Indians were hunters who followed the animals, their food source, during times of migration from place to place. Together, the nomadic people and animals slowly migrate toward the south. These early inhabitants spread out all over the North American continent, now Canada, the United States, and Mexico. There was a great variety of language, religions, beliefs, and customs among the many tribes of groups of Indians. By the time the first Europeans arrived, the Indians were living in several different culture areas. The members of various tribes in each centers of culture had frequent contact with one another that shared similar characteristics, but they didn't have much in common with tribes in other cultures areas. For example, the Pima and Papago tribes of the southwestern desert had similar customs and habits, but their lifestyle was completely different from that of the Sioux who live on the plains, the Apaches in the southwest, and the Kwakiutl and Tlingit of the northwest coast, or the Natchez and Tonkawas on the Gulf Coast in the Florida. The lifestyle of the people who live in each culture area reflect the geography of that area. The inhabitants of the Northwest Coast, now British Columbia, Canada, live by hunting and fishing, but they didn't lead a nomadic life. They didn't need to follow animals from place to place because they could take advantage of the resources where where they were living. The oceans, the rivers produce salmon, halibut, and many other fish. The forests were rich in animal life. They offered their elk and bear as well as similar animals. In the forests, the habitats could also find berries to eat and wood for boats, furniture, and houses. Geography influenced other areas of life too. Hunting was seasonal work best in the summer, therefore the tribe members were very busy at certain time of year. But in other seasons, they had the opportunity to spend time in creative activities such as woodworking and art form for which and Northwest Coast Indians become well known. Unlike the inhabitants of the Northwest Coast, the Indians of the Eastern Plains had an agricultural society. They live in farming communities and relies crops of corn, beans, squash, and tobacco. The members of these tribes live differently from those in the Northwest because there were so few theirs of the lands. Their houses were of earth inside of wood. While the food was growing, the people stayed in their communities. Yet after the harvest, when they had bought in the crops, the Indians rode west on horse they had gotten from Spanish farmers to hunt buffalo. During the months when they were looking for buffalo, the lifestyle of the hunter was similar to that the nomadic tribes on the western plains. To these plains Indians, both eastern and western, the buffalo was very important. It provided many necessities, male skin for tips, house that people could carry, clothing and materials from spawns, back and beds the buffalo. A hunt was also central to many artistic, social, and religious activities. When Europeans arrived on the North America continent several hundred years ago, the North the North Americans' old way of life began to change. The differences between Europeans and Indians' evolution led the difficulties as the whites moved west. They took over more and more of the land of themselves. Native Americans lost not only their land but also their lives to widespread wars and to sickness that were not exist in North America before the Europeans came, but they had lost something even more important, their sense of identity. When the Plains Indians, for inst- instance, lost their hunting grounds, and when the buffalo became almost as extinct, the most important characteristic of their society, the buffalo hunt, was gone. Today, although some Native Americans live in urban areas, many live many live on reservation let that the government set aside from them. Some tribes have held on the general have forgotten the old ways, although some groups are relatively wealthy. Most are very poor and have had to receive help from the government in recent years. Many tribes have begun to regain their sense of identity and their cultural heritage. They are having wars once again, this time in court, where they have succeeded in several legal battles. They are fighting to win back their fishing and hunting rights, the best of their ancestors' way or life. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.